In order for you to 10x your life, you are going to have to 10x yourself. And that is the reason why most people never create extraordinary results in their life, because they're not willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And that whatever it takes is an internal identity transformation. The outside world is just a reflection of your inside world. So if you want 10 times the net worth, if you want a 10 times better relationship than your current one or your last one or whatever, if you want 10 times the health, the fitness results, it comes down to you 10xing your identity, the image that you have in your mind of yourself. Okay? This path is not for everyone. That is why there is the 99 percentile, let's call them the herd, and then you've got the 1%, and then you've got the 1% of the 1%, which would be the 0.1%. And those are the people that I'm talking to in my videos. I'm talking to people who want to do extraordinary things with their life. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make a complete transformation of your identity. Now, if you haven't watched my videos on Life is Just a Game, then I would suggest that you go watch those now. It's a 3-part video series. Phenomenal information. It really simplifies down the fact that we're in a game. It's just a simulation. It's a virtual reality game. And the purpose of the game is progression. Like every other game, the point of the game is to get as good as you possibly can get at the game. Okay? So if you haven't yet, go watch that video. But anyways, you know, we've got less than a month. Today's December 14th. We've got just a few days left, just a few weeks left in 2025. Look at your life. Are you where you want to be? Are you where you expected to be at this phase of your life? If you're not, the reason is internal. It has nothing to do with external circumstances. It does have to do something with your actions, but your actions, like in the last video that I talked about, your actions are a reflection of your mind. Your body expresses what is programmed on the mind. Your mind is like a computer. This is your software, the programs, the hard-coded programs about the way you view yourself, you view other people, and you view life circumstances, money, health, so on and so forth. Your body expresses what is imprinted on the mind. So that means we need to spend 95% of our efforts on changing our mind if we want to create extraordinary results. Now, the reason why most people fail, even people who are, making 7 figures, 8 figures, and they want to take their life to the next level, because every level has the same challenges in it. There's no finish line to this game. There's no peak to the mountain where you get to the top and there's a party and it's like, oh, you finally made it. No, that's not how it works. Guess what? People who are at 10 million, a billion, they have challenges too. They are looking to take their life to the next level too. And so they must make internal shifts as well. And the reason why most people never get as far as they want or make the shifts they want is they don't have a powerful enough why. Your why is energy. It is energy that's going to get you through, over, under, around the obstacles that are most definitely going to show up in your life. And especially when you get on or you commit to a 10x journey. You are for sure going to face challenges, and they're always internal challenges. And most people, they don't have a strong enough why. They don't have a strong enough intention on why they're doing what they're doing, so they just revert back to their results. And I would actually say that people, the more money someone has, the more comfort they can afford, and therefore it's easier for them to revert back to where they're comfortable because they don't have to work. They don't have to go out. They don't have to be somewhere necessarily or always, but generally speaking. So you must have a very strong conviction as to why you want to create the results that you say you want to create. So in last week's video, I gave you a quick synopsis of how this diagram works. Again, if you haven't watched it yet, you got to make sure you go watch that. So this is part 2 of the video series. Follow this system, and 2026 will be the best year of your life. Guaranteed. I give you the Gary Gilgan guarantee. If you follow this simple system, because life is very, very simple. It is not easy, but it's very simple. And it's very hard to execute. That's why it takes a lifetime. That's why some people don't learn their lessons until they're on their deathbed, until they've been given a life-threatening diagnosis. Do they change their ways? So this is very simple stuff. It's very logical, but in practice it's very hard, and very few people are willing to go on this path, and even fewer get very far on this path. So in last week's video I talked about that, then I talked about it's a 4-part system. The very first is knowing what it is you want. Where's the destination? What is the vision that you want to manifest in your life? What's the greatest vision you can conceptualize about your life in those 5 areas? Your health, your wealth, your relationships, your spirituality, your purpose, your passion, fulfillment, hobbies, things like that. I literally laid out what our mind moving into 2026. Now already these have changed a bit because I've had some inspirations, because I'm also on another journey, which is part of my why and part of these components over here that have made me think, oh my gosh, I could actually do much more than that. But you've got to watch my other videos on retention in order to understand that. But today we're going to talk about why. Okay? So let's look at this like you are going on a journey. Oop, I knew that was going to happen. You're going on a journey, okay? And on this journey, you're going to have pitfalls and backtracks and all this different types of stuff on your way to your destination. Okay, you're going to need energy to get there because things are going to show up. So you must become emotionally invested in why it is that you want to get there. Because most people, everybody wants to get rich. If I went out on the streets right now, I asked 100 people, do you want $1 million? I would venture to say at least 80% of those people would say yes. Because everybody wants it. Everybody wants a 6-pack. Everybody wants $1 million. Everybody wants all the good life. But very few people are willing to do what it takes to get it, because they don't have the energy. They don't have the desire. This is a part of the burning desire in getting it. In fact, I would say this is desire. Because desire is energy. Okay? Energy. Now in my video series, Life is Just a Game, I talk about that it's all energy. Everything. Your body is just a mass of energy that's vibrating at a certain rate of vibration. Okay? Most people's energy on a scale of 1 to 10 is at a 3. They don't like their lives. Their life is very little fulfillment, very little passion, purpose, drive. It's very superficial. It's very materialistic. And I think that it has been constructed that way but that's, for another video. But anyways, so once you list out what it is that you want, then you have to invest into it. And first things first, you have to get emotionally invested into it. Because if it's superficial, if it's materialistic, then one, you may not even take the first step or steps to get it started. But if you say, hey, I want it so bad, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it, then you make it happen. So, this video is very simple. So you want to get emotionally attached to it. Now let me tell you something, a little caveat is that, again, going back to right here, you are an infinite spiritual being. You literally have infinite potential lying dormant within you. I believe emphatically that you can create anything that your mind can conceptualize. So the fact that you are inspired, the fact that you want these things means that the ability to create them is within you. You just have to tap into your potential to change your reality from the inside out. Okay? The first thing you got to do is you got to get to the root cause, the root reason why you want those things. So let me take you through it for me. Okay? 1, why do I want to lose at this point? We'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow I check in. Why do I want to lose roughly 30 pounds and 5% body fat? Well, I said it right there, actually. I want to regain 20 years of vitality. I want to feel good. I want to live as long as I possibly can for the people that I love. To me, that's a fucking strong why. I'm 43 years old. I plan on having more kids. I want to live as long as I possibly can to experience as much as I possibly can with them. So that means I got to take care of the vessel. Okay, this is my tool. You've been gifted with the greatest gift you could have ever received. A 1 in 4 trillion chance of getting a body, and you feed it full of garbage. You treat it like shit. You put poison in it. Now, and again, I'm not trying to condemn anyone or shame anyone. I'm not perfect. I do that too. In fact, just earlier this year, I was drinking way more than I was. I was eating Adderall, prescription grade amphetamines that fucked my system up. But then I had to get real about the direction my life was headed. And I had to have a real pep talk with myself and change it. So I want to regain 20 years. I guess we could try to write some of these. Never mind, you're just going to have to follow along because I'm not going to be able to fit 7. The point being is you want to get as many reasons why, emotional reasons, why you want to accomplish those things. So for me, I want more kids. I want a family. I want to live as long as I possibly can. My benchmark is 120 years old. Live to 120, kids. Okay, I've got to stay youthful so that I can still, attract, at least 25 to 30-year-old that's going to bear my children, even when I'm 45 or 50, right? Okay? So, wealth. I want to create a $50,000 per month revenue stream. Okay, why? Because it costs a lot to be healthy. Okay? I want to level up my life. So that means I want to move from this house to another house, a much bigger house on land. So that right alone is going to be about 10 grand a month where I live. For me to get, 5 to 10 acres, for me to get, a 5 to 8,000 square foot house, going from a 2,000 square foot, condo to, 5,000 to 8,000 square feet, boom, that cost right there. I want to get a few more cars, things like that. Okay? Boom, I want to sell out my crypto project. I have a very, very powerful, revolutionary crypto project It's really for high net worth individuals. It's a $1 trillion venture. Okay, why do I want to do that? Because I want to accomplish building something that's worth $1 trillion. I want to create these ideas that come to my mind, okay? I want to build my personal portfolio to over $10 million, okay? I've gotten real close to that a few times over the last 8 years or so, but again, because of, we'll talk about it in another video, but my character, he's not responsible, he's not worthy of that, so it hasn't happened yet. So now I know I'm on the right path, so I know that I'm allowed it to happen. Okay, boom, there we go there. So then there was something else with, you know, the 0.01% man. Okay, relationships. Okay, 5 high-level men. I think that having a brotherhood, having a close-knit, close friends, relationships for men is vitally important, as well as with women too. But I want high-level men. Men who have very high standards for their lives, men who challenge each other, push each other. Those are the type of real close relationships I want. You know, again, at 43 years old, my standards are rising where it's like, hey, I'm looking at the people I spend time with. Okay, if you're going out and you're being a degenerate too often, okay, if you lie, if your word is not your bond, things like that, then hey, you can't be in my circle. I'd rather just be on this journey alone looking for those guys. Okay? Date beautiful women because again, I'm trying to have beautiful children. 4 vacations. I do a lot of vacations. Me, my son, my family, my parents, my sister and her family, we're very, very close. And so, we do a lot of vacations. So my goal is to do 1 per quarter in 2026 because they're my best friends. They are the people that I love the most. I can be myself the most around. They accept me the most. I love them. I love giving to them. I love providing for them. Love it because my heart is so full of love for them that those are the people I want to spend the most time with. Okay, spirituality, grow closer to God. Because I am God, so I'm trying to get rid of all the static so I can be more united with that infinite source so that I can make better decisions, I get better inspirations, I have more energy. Like I'm saying here, it's all energy. I want to be closer to it. So what does that mean? I've got to work on mastering and overcoming the 7 deadly sins. We'll talk about that on another video. But I do think those are very prevalent. I would say the one that's really had its deepest grips on me is lust. Okay, being a lustful man has been a challenge for me and something that I know has held me back ultimately from getting to where I want to go. Now that I'm aware of that, it's like, boom, okay, I'm done. So, boom. My desire to create my dream life is much stronger than my desire to go out and chase some pussy. Full stop. And I wish more men would understand that, is that so much time, effort, energy, money is wasted on women that you know have no potential in being in your life forever. I'd rather just stay home and work on my businesses, making money, hanging out with the boys, going golfing, doing whatever, than going to bars, getting fucked up, chasing pussy, just for a temporary release that ultimately it's a net negative. But anyways, whatever. Growing closer to God. Okay, growing closer to that. Okay, what is my goals, my purpose, my passion? Okay, I want to get 100,000 members in my 0.1% Man Skool Community. So check that out. Link is in the bio. This is only for men who have a burning desire to become the very best. Men who want to get to the 0.1% of men in the world in these 5 areas. So that means we can quantify all this. 0.01% of the men can do 100 push-ups in a row. Perfect form. Okay? 25 pull-ups. Perfect form. So now you have your benchmark, you know where you got to get to. In fact, that's my health goals too. So 100, I call them pushies. Okay, 25 pull-ups. Okay, I can quantify those things. Because again, my overarching goal for everything, now that I'm thinking about it, is my focus is always, I want to be the very best that I can possibly be. This is a fucking game. And we're all playing this game. Some people are consciously aware they're playing a game, and some people are sleeping still. Okay, I'm awake, I understand, I'm playing a game, and I'm here to fucking win, period. Not against anyone else, against myself. So then I can just look at the board and say, okay, I see that in order for me to be the very best that I can possibly be, I gotta be able to do 100 push-ups, 25 pull-ups, I gotta be able to do this, that, or the other. I've got to have a net worth of $10 million. I've gotta have, my income's gotta be way, oh no, that's 600,000 per year. So these are just things that I can quantify. They're benchmarks I can look at and say, okay, if I want to be in the 0.1% of 4 billion men, that's all I got to do. The top men have very deep, profound, loving, accepting, caring, transparent, honest relationships. They have a deep connection with a higher power, whatever that is. It really doesn't matter to me. And then they have a purpose for life, something that they're shooting for, something that's not just for them. Again, I'm 43 years old. I think I have a lot of value, a lot of wisdom to share with other men who are on this journey. So I want to create a community of men where, hey, I might connect with a lawyer. I might meet a lawyer or another guy that brings investments, real estate, this, that, or the other. It's already started. I've got connections in India, where I'm looking at buying some real estate in India now, start investing there, in the Bahamas. It's a network where we can share our value with one another. Okay, 2, started the Degenerates, which is a band. I love playing music. I can shred it on the drums, I can shred on the guitar, I got a voice like a fucking angel. Okay, I want to start an 80s hair band cover band, okay? We're talking Poison, Rat, Warrant, the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, okay? I want to do that to have fun. It's a creative expression, okay? And then become a 15 handicap golfer. I love playing golf, very passionate about it. It's something that me and my dad really connect and bond over deeply. I would say damn near the only thing, but it doesn't matter, okay? So, why? I shared with you some of my whys. I know why I'm going after it. And I'm emotionally invested. I want to beat my dad. I want to dominate him. For fun. Just for fun. To let him know who's the fucking man. Okay? I want to have fun. I want to express myself and give that energy out to people just like I'm giving right now in this form. I also love music. It's a way for me to express my emotions because I'm a very emotional man. Okay? I want to help other men. I want to make the world a better place for my son and for my future children. That's very important to me. Very important. Okay? Obviously, I'm trying to be more godly. I'm trying to be more righteous, more virtuous. So that means I got to learn the lessons and overcome my weaknesses. Okay? And one of my biggest weaknesses is pussy. Okay? And jerking it. Okay? But we're here now, kicking ass, taking aim. 15 days in, baby. 15 days in. Watch the videos. Okay? So the name of the game, so I don't keep, just digressing and being redundant, is you want to get an emotional investment. You want to be emotionally invested. So that means you got to get to root reason why. Why is it that I want this? If it's superficial, materialistic, egotistical, then you're not going to be willing to do whatever it takes. You're not going to be willing to traverse the path as far as you need to go to create permanent change. Let me give you an example of this. Over Thanksgiving week, I went to LA and I went to a men's retreat. And that men's retreat was about business. It was about, social dynamics, how to talk to chicks, how to, just be a more socially dynamic man, as well as business and creating content for your personal brand, how you show up, how you create your own frame, so on and so forth. Okay. I would say 80% of the men that went were going there to learn how to talk to chicks, ultimately so they could have sex. Okay? So the end goal is sex. So if we came over here, what is it that I want? I want to have sex because I got this energy down here that wants to be expressed. Okay? Like swimming in the ocean. Okay? It wants to be expressed, and that's totally natural. But conversely, if you go deeper and I say, well, okay, well, why do you want to have sex? Oh, because it feels good. Okay, well, let's go a little deeper. Why do you want to have sex? Well, what I discovered after talking to some of them, getting to know them, and kind of just looking at my own situation, the reason why men want to sleep with a lot of women or just have a lot of sex in general is the same reason women post provocative pictures online. Validation. Men get validation from sex because for a woman, sex is very risky. They might get pregnant, the man might leave them, they might die giving birth to that child. So it's very risky. So a man in his unconscious mind is thinking, well, if a woman would take all this risk to let me have sex with her, then that means I'm good enough. I'm good enough. She let me have sex with her. But what they don't understand is that's very superficial. It's very empty. Okay? Because what are you going to do when she wakes up the next morning and the spell's, worn off and she realizes that you still live with your mom, you ain't got no money, you're skinny fat, you're in the bottom of the 99 percentile. Okay? It was superficial. You could certainly go out and learn. If you want the sex bad enough, you could go and learn how to make it happen. But to really have fulfillment, you've got to become the best man that you could possibly be. And then you will exude confidence. You'll exude charisma. You will exude value to the world. And then what you want will come right into your lap when you're ready for it. Okay, so that's a difference between something that you want that's surface level, that's egotistical, it's driven by ego, versus something that's very deep. Okay, I want to get rich. I want to become a billionaire because one, I want to live life. I want to experience all that life has to offer, but I also want to give my future women the very best that life has to offer too. I want to take care of them at the highest level. I want to take care of my son and all my children. I want to give them the very best that life has to offer. Okay? It goes deeper than that. It's not just about me. I don't really want that much. I already have it all. I got no debt. My house is paid off. Okay, my cars are paid off. Like, man, I don't really want anything. I can go out and buy, a $50,000 watch. Like, I don't really want anything. You got to get deeper because once you've already accomplished these at a certain level, once you've made, $1 million and you've gotten cars and you've climbed the peak of materialism, you get to that peak and you realize, oh, this really isn't that cool. It's actually kind of shallow. If, of course, you're on the progressive, let's call it, you're progressing in life as a man, as a spiritual being, some stuff like that, then you wake up and realize, it's really not that cool, okay? I do believe, though, that you can have your cake and eat it too, so I don't want to contradict myself here, okay? But also, I don't want to fucking take forever on this video. So you want to become emotionally invested in your why, so that it's the first thing on your mind in the morning and it's the last thing at night when you're crawling into bed after fucking working as much as you can to create that life. That's how you know you're emotionally invested, because the excitement's going to wane, challenges are going to pop up, Most definitely. And if you have a weak desire, weak intention, weak energy, boom, as soon as you hit that first challenge, that first resistance, you're gonna just cower back to what you know is comfortable. That's why most people do not succeed at an extraordinary level in this life. They don't have a strong purpose. They don't have a strong desire to create an extraordinary life. Because you've got to understand, first and foremost, in closing, is that an extraordinary life is the mirror reflection of an extraordinary character. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about next week. I would say the most important part of this equation is who you must become. Period. You must, I started the video out with this. If you want to 10x your life, you must 10x yourself. You must 10x your character. You must become 10 times the man that you are today. And that challenge in and of itself is very, very difficult because the challenges required are very subtle, they're very insidious, and you're very emotionally invested in them already. And that's why most people never transform their character, because their character has so much linked up to it. So I'll go over that in the next video. But anyways, if you are someone, a man, obviously, that your life's purpose is to become the greatest version of yourself, to reach your full potential, to tap into your full potential, to be, do, and have the best that you can possibly be, do, and have, then I invite you to check out our school community, the 0.1% Man. You can check out the link is in the description. This is not for everyone. It really isn't. You must qualify to be in this group. You must really be willing to do whatever it takes. Because even just this last weekend, I made some posts online inviting people to come aboard, DM me for more information. Had a bunch of guys DM me. I send them the qualifications. Crickets. Crickets. Because everybody fucking wants to have the good life. Everybody's just not willing to do whatever it takes to have the good life. So this is really only for people who are willing to do whatever it takes to conquer their lower, weaker self, or as I call it, the little bitch inside of all of us. Most people aren't willing to confront that character and dominate it. So if you feel like that is you, then I invite you to check out that link in the description. Otherwise, I hope that you got value from this video. If you did, please comment what you liked most, what you learned, what you took away from it. Please like and share and all that different type of stuff. Help me grow this channel so that we can help other men take their life to the next level. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.